Hello, everybody. I'd like to call to order the regular meeting of the Board of Selectmen for Tuesday, April 18th. We'll start with the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So I'd like to welcome everybody. We have a small group, obviously. Public comment. So public available. Correspondence. We have one letter. The letter is from our former selectman, Matt Knickerbocker. He's unable to attend tonight. He had something else going on, but he wanted to comment that it's inappropriate to use the town of Bethel public property for a nonprofit seeking private sector business. Now, what this is in relation to is to the publication of the Community Gazette or Bethel Gazette. Is it Bethel Community Gazette? Anyway, it's what happened was they've been putting it up at the transfer station, and it is not necessarily a public forum. So there's been some question about that it could be a actual violation of the town ethics. So Marty will send this copy to you. And we can have a discussion at length of the merits or demerits of whether we should do this. That's okay?
Yes.
Okay. As far as the first selectmen's report goes, obviously the big thing for all this on our mind is the budget. Today, of course, is a referendum. I do believe it's going to pass. It seems to be going well. I haven't heard anything negative. As far as everything else goes, we've been working on the website, as I mentioned before. I don't know if I said it in detail, but the big issue is communication. People still talking about in town. I've gotten a lot of great feedback on the Friday update we've been doing. So we're going to be trying to maybe massage that a little bit, make it a little bit better. I've solicited some feedback, so I've had some emails coming back to me. And then the other thing is just the website. And we're looking at a couple different companies. The company we had now, I think I might have mentioned, it has been bought out, which we had to change our website next year anyway. But there's a larger company called Granicus. Granicus specializes in doing municipalities and towns and even cities all over the country. They have a lot of user interface that are helpful to the public in finding permitting and all the good stuff you want out of a website. They're expensive though. So at some point, we're going to have a greater discussion, and I'll give a presentation on all that are available. But I have included some citizens, Cynthia McCorkindale, Allison St. Germain. I've had them weigh in on it because who better than people who are complaining about our current website. So I just kind of wanted to throw out that's one thing we wanted to work on. Okay, so first up, we'll need a vote to go into executive session to consider the ratification of the police union contract.
Make a motion that we go to executive session to police contract.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Don't oppose. We are now in executive session, so stop recording. And there's nobody number to say. Okay, so we're out of executive session. Call the meeting back to order. To note, yeah. Oh, excellent. We are at 7:22 p.m. And for the record, we did invite Brad Herring, Comptroller Bethel, John Shea, attorney representing Bethel, and Marty Lawler, attorney representing Bethel into executive session. Oh, that's right, Mary Churchill, recording secretary. Thank you.
The most important person.
The only important person. Okay, so we have before us, I'd like a motion to ratify the police union contract as stated.
I make a motion to ratify the police union contract as stated.
Second.
Okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Against? None, and I will abstain. Motion passes. Next up is consideration of approval of the Board of Selectmen regular meetings from April 4th, 2023. They have a motion. Okay. And we were all here. I didn't see anything as I looked over it. All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? None. Motion carries.
Who was the second, right?
Mine was the second. Actually, I think they both said they moved. Okay. Next up, like a motion to consider the tax refunds in the amount of $3,050.02 as a result of overpayment of taxes.
That was, from Paul Usher.
Yes.
Make a motion to accept.
And I believe the motion we authorized to refund, sorry. Motion to authorize refunds in the amount of $3,050.02 as a result of overpayment of taxes.
So moved.
Second. All in favor? Aye. Opposed, none, motion carried. Okay. Okay, last up, like a motion for discussion of consideration of ARPA funds not to exceed $73,000 for demoing and replacing the hallways in municipal center, Pearl Selectmen Hall, Park and Rec, etc., and removal of recurrent blinds installation for any efficient blinds in front offices. Motion for discussion?
Second for discussion.
Okay, so the concept came from the fact that we were gonna have leftover ARPA money from the project in the front hall. And we believe it's gonna be around $75,000. We don't have that yet. If you recall, this was on the previous agenda. So it's up for discussion.
Well, I can't support it, and I'll tell you why. They need to be done, the floors, but I don't think it should come out of the ARPA funds personally. I think the ARPA funds should be used for more widely ranged items that the public use. And was all in favor of the bathrooms, the concerts and the music and the carnival will use the restrooms that we just renovated. I believe redoing floors is not part of that. I think redoing floors should be a regular maintenance thing that comes out of the town coffers. However it comes out, capital non-recurring or whatever. I just think that and the other issue is it was just in the paper the other day that we did not receive any of that first round money from the state for the HVAC systems. We might have to help the Board of Ed with some of that equipment in the future if they can't get any extra grant money to perform that work. Let's see, I had one more.
Oh, fair enough. Second Jersey, any thoughts on the subject?
If I recall, Nancy Ryan said that they had unused contingency money in the project. I don't remember what the exact amount was. I thought it was like $70K or something like that.
That is what they believe will have, yes.
What was it down about?
70,000.
We think,
No, I think there was 20,000 set aside for plans and specifications.
Yeah, but I thought she came in under, I'm pretty sure she said 70K.
Well, I think that's what she was saying is left over from the project.
Right.
Right.
Oh, I see.
That-
So it wasn't ARPA. Yeah, that was.
Right, that was, yeah.
I mean, I do see Rich's point on this one.
Yeah.
I guess my question was, are there trip hazards? Is it becoming a hazard to the public? Or is this just us saying,
the with the floor, it needs to be replaced. It's definitely a trip hazard. There's no doubt on the floor. Adding on the stuff at the front of the building, you can always argue that it's energy efficient, a bunch of the blinds, but that's the smallest part of the project.
Yeah, that's.
So, but with the floors, definitely needs to be done. I know philosophically, people have looked at ARPA funds for different things and wanting people to see it and see we've done something is one way. We also, our money, a lot of the justification of our money has been used to replace lost revenue. So, I think we can look at it either way. But it needs to be done.
Yeah, well,
Yeah.
my recommendation was let's bring it before the Board of Finance
Yeah.
and see if they're willing to pay for it.
You think that,
I mean, we got.
I think we know what they'll say, but
May, June, July, you got 3 months left in
Yeah.
really the budget season.
I mean, Marty, do you think it would be allowed under ARPA to use the funds for the hallways?
Pretty much you can use the funds the way you want. I think though, the real issue here is, I think if you remember, one of the broad problems with using the ARPA funds is that it can't be used to keep the tax rate down or the mill rate down. And I think maybe some people would make an argument that regular routine maintenance would be in essence part of your tax rate. And what you're doing by using ARPA funds, you're keeping your tax rate low by not spending the money that you should be spending out of your tax funds. That's what I think the issue is.
well, I mean, I'm tending to kind of agree with Rich, at least to maybe we table it and we go to the Board of Finance, see what they say. I mean, I think Rich makes a really good point.
Were these on any capital improvement from
No, they've
Okay.
never been drawn. It's just,
Years,
it's been,
years ago, I think, Eileen had presented as part of that big renovation.
that is
I
true.
believe
that
that
could have been.
was years ago.
Yeah, but I mean, if you look how bad they've come,
Yeah,
and we're not putting the town clerk hallway there. I mean, theirs are still okay. It's just the main hallway and down to the end are really, really bad.
Yeah.
So,
To answer your question, Rich, at one point in the capital plan, probably 2 or 3 years ago, we had put a line item in there of municipal center improvements. And then COVID hit and we didn't do much with any of that stuff, and it's just kind of fallen by the wayside. But it is something that we should look at because the municipal center is aging. I think it's been 25 years, Rich, since it was redone.
I guess, and again, Marty, I'm just curious your thoughts. Because I know ARPA funds were used for IT. I know ARPA funds were used to hire, we used it to hire the SROs to get that program off. Or were we wrong in doing that?
No, I don't think you were wrong in doing it. I think it depends on the degree that you're talking about, I think.
So
In most cases, if you spent money on emergency situations, I'm talking like the fire department, the police department. I don't think anybody's going to question that. And that's one of the reasons why the funds were to replace funds. But you have to remember too, Brad did calculations and he came up with calculations. And I'll have to be honest, I don't remember if it was presented to the Board of Selectmen or not. He had calculations and formulas that showed that as a result of the pandemic, we lost a lot of money. And I think a lot of the money could be used to replace that as revenue. So it's how you're going to look at it, so.
Yeah, so when I did the calculation, it's not necessarily that Bethel lost it, but the calculation that
Well, they
they
didn't get it.
used for revenue replacement, the number was in like the $5.2 million range.
Yeah.
And even with the revenue replacement, to Marty's point earlier, you can't lower your tax rate with it, and you can't fund pensions. Are like the two big things that are big no-nos. I think these things, otherwise they wouldn't have been in the operating budget. They'd probably be CNR projects. Could you make the argument that you wouldn't have to fund CNR as much? And by not funding CNR as much, you're affecting the tax rate. But I think that's a bit of a stretch. So I think we were safe with both of those criteria in this example. So
The one thing I would have liked to have seen in this proposal was, they mentioned BMPs here already. What is the cost, what is the actual cost savings? It's not really stated. I understand BMPs here, although, I don't see them anymore, but is there a cost savings? And if there's such, they should let either us know or the Board of Finance know whether we pay for it through ARPA or capital non-reoccurring. My point is, if we didn't do it at conclusion of this, how much is the increase in cost? And the other point is, a project this big where we're spending, almost what, 80 something thousand, 100 something, more than 100 something thousand when you look at the total numbers.
Yeah, but Ryan, I don't think we need a construction manager to.
I'm not saying
oversee
we need a construction
Well,
manager.
well, that's pretty much what BM,
BMP's, this is the argument they make.
I don't know if that is a construction manager, it's the, we would do it without a construction manager, but we would use.
well,
Whoever's
what
doing
they
it,
have, it
yeah,
has, I
yeah,
mean, they,
yeah.
What I'm saying is it a job that should go out to bid? If we're talking about $100,000.
Well, we're not talking about 100.
well, yeah, but you got
Well, it's
lines,
not
you got
less than you-
floors, you got.
Well, it's not less if you look at the total amount.
Total amount for the entire project here, is 72,000. 72,200, and that would be for,
The blinds and everything.
that's the blinds, everything that's doing the entire hallway. Just not the town clerk side. So we're doing the whole hallway on the, I guess we call it the east wing. And, but to your point, though, we did not get an estimate on what the difference would be if we brought him back. So remember when the whole concept came up, we were like, hey, this is probably an opportunity just to tag something on to what we're doing and get it done in ARPA. And then we decided to make it cleaner by stepping back from it and saying, we'll look at it separately, which is fine.
Well, it's, and I guess the reason why I thought he wrote here, BMP is the contractor currently performing the lobby. So that's where the quote came from, Rich, is BMP.
Yeah, okay.
It did come. So anyway, I kind of agree that we should send it to the Board of Finance and get their
Yeah,
thoughts on it.
I think Rich is right on that end.
Yeah, I don't have.
Yeah,
an issue.
and I don't know if I had mentioned it, maybe with my other thought or repeat myself. We have until the end of 24 to approve any of these allocations and up to 26 to actually get it done by.
Right. Which we do, and I
So,
think,
it's, you know, if we have a better idea what's happening with the air and stuff at the.
I don't think we need to be in a hurry, but, or in a hurry
Yeah.
to do ARPA funding. Like in general, I think we're at a good point to kind of like take a breath.
I think this project should
The
go.
project.
Oh, you
needs to
should go, yeah, I
They-
agree.
They should pay for,
Yeah.
you know, from capital non-reoccurring,
Yeah,
because
yeah.
if you're saying there's trip hazards, we have to get it done.
I 100%,
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
not.
100%.
Yeah.
Okay, so, I don't, I guess, do we need a motion that we're
Yeah.
going to send it to them?
Yeah, so we'll do it.
Yeah.
Motions.
So I'd like a motion to, basically send the requirements, what we're looking for to do the hallway and the blinds, the whole project, of $72,200 to the Board of Finance with a request to take it out of capital non-recurring.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Opposed? No. Motion carries.
So they can decide if they want to do the whole thing or part of it.
We had one, I'm sorry, Lieutenant, we had one change, and the lieutenant's pay was just crashed down. Okay, seeing that there's no one business before us, so I'm gonna have a motion to adjourn.
Make a motion to adjourn.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. You're adjourned. Thank you, everybody.
You miss all the excitement.